Hey, this is Michael Colyar, world famous, world renowned, often talked about alleged comedian, and you're listening to Day One Radio.
The business.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Day One Radio. I'm the world famous BP Brandon LSK, coming at you all the way from Rome, Italy right now. I had to go out of town, but before I left, me and Maurice got together with one of the best comedians doing it, been one of the best for many, many years, the one and only Mr. Michael Colyar. He was in Atlanta at Uptown Comedy Corner doing a weekend of shows, and he came in early after his Friday show. Voice was hoarse and everything, but as a true professional, a true OG does, he soldiered through, and we had a great interview. So kick back, listen to this quick mix from Wally Sparks, and we'll be right back at you with Mr. Michael Colyar.
DJ Wally Sparks. WABL. New rules, new radio.
You're my darling, darling baby. You're my darling, darling love. You're my darling, darling baby. I said you're everything I ever hoped for in a woman. as long as I may live. Ooh, you're my darling, darling baby. You're my sweet and tender love. You're a very special lady. I said you're the one that I always dreamed of in a woman. I'll give all that I can give. I'll give you plenty love because you deserve the best. You should have everything a queen sitting on a throne should have. You deserve to have it all, and I'm gonna do my best to give it to you, to give it to you, to give it to you. Ooh, you're
Could you put your back down now? I am here for some fun. Could you put your back down now? I am here for some fun. Could you put your back down now?
DJ Wally
I am here for some fun. Oh! I am some camel. It is hot in this desert. Where's all the other people at? Where they at? Say it loud. Oh! Who is that? Say it loud. A hump for one, a hump for two. Humping is the newest thing to do. Oh! I say 16 tons of coal. What do you get? Bring a hump in your back, son. Oh! Oh! Put your back down, son. Face you round to the vicious hump. Where's all the hungry people at? Where they at? Say it loud. Meeny, miny, moe. Get your humble by his toe.
DJ Wally Spikes.
WABL.
Man, it's a pleasure to have. I think this dude is the most successful street performer ever that's transcended well beyond that, but he was so dope that people still know him for stuff he did in the 80s.
Thank you.
80s into the 90s. I'm
still here now too.
Yeah. The only person I've ever heard of that made six figures performing on the street that wasn't selling something that the government will lock you up for.
That's right.
The one and only Michael Colyar.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me here, man. I appreciate it.
And Mr. Colyar is a soldier because he was in Atlanta last night, blew his voice out on stage, killing him at Uptown Comedy Corner.
Yes, sir.
And he still came in like a G early in the morning to rock with
and my
us.
voice is ripped, dude. But, I got to do what I say I'm going to do. My word is my bond,
I appreciate that.
And he's clean as usual out there, Radio
Super
Lane.
clean.
Oh, thank you very much. I was dressing for radio. No, I got up this morning and actually exercised. We went to this thing for the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated Atlanta alumni. So at 8 in the morning, they exercise. But all these ladies are like 56, 60 and older. So I'm trying to exercise with them, thinking I'm going to keep up. They wore my behind. I tried to quit about 4 times. I was like, I'm not going to let these ladies beat me, But so I've been up for a minute. And this voice, is part of it is because I took a supplement to try to cleanse my system, and part of it because I pushed hard doing 2 shows last night. Yeah. So after this, I'm going back to my room, drink hot tea, lemon, honey, some apple cider vinegar, and then I'm going to rest for about 4 hours because I got 3 shows tonight.
Ooh, man, killing it.
Got to keep hope alive.
Most definitely, man. So
yeah,
we going to, because a lot of our audience is fairly young, so even though a lot of your fans know your story, we're going to get into your story a little bit.
Okay.
From Chicago.
I didn't know I had a story. Okay. From Chicago. Southside.
Yeah, started out acting.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and transcended into doing comedy, but you've kind of come full circle because you've been in, 50, 60 projects over the years.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
Voiceovers, acting, everything.
And I'm still coming, man. It's a lot of stuff. I'm doing a one-man show now, and it opens in Los Angeles September 23rd and 24th called Michael Colyar's Mama. So that's going to be a 90-minute show. I'm working on that right now. And I'm actually writing a gospel song that I'm going to sing in that show. Right. And I don't sing or dance, nigga. And and it's funny because I was with Step Stewart today. He's a local from here, and Step Stewart used to do the exercise and dances on Dr. Oz show. Cole brother creates a lot of theater, and he brought me here to do a play last year, which was a black version of Cinderella. It was called Cindy, and it was set in 1942 Harlem. It was off the chain. So he's the one who actually did the exercise class with these women today. So I put it up on my Facebook page, so people can go to my Facebook page and peek in and see my old ass trying to keep up with all these women.
Shout out to the ladies of DST for holding it down at 50, 60 years old,
That's
still
right.
exercising.
Killing it too, man.
Some of these young women, you can't get them to get off the wings in the nightclub in the hookah.
Man, I want to go lay down when it was over. And they all went out and walked around the mall, man.
Wow.
We was driving away. They were still walking in circles on the driveway around the mall. I was like, man, I don't know what they eating, but it must be working.
So how is it for you writing a one-man show? Because you've done so much material over the years. Is it different?
It's frightening.
Really?
Yeah, because, one-man show is not stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy for me is breathing. I don't even have to think about it. I could come up with 50 funny things to say. But it's not the same as a theatrical show because theater is about the drama of your life, So I could tell jokes about my mother, or I can actually become my mother, or I can get deeper into what my relationship with my mother is. How does she raise me? How does she discipline me? How does she congratulate me and love me when I did things right, Or I could do superficial jokes. And it's a true difference in the two. And I have to take the audience on a true journey, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you have to keep the story moving the whole time. So it's a story. See, like if you're sitting back, like now you're sitting back listening to me. If this was a play, I would be failing Because you're not supposed to be sitting back.
I'm
You're
supposed to be
supposed to be
reacting.
engaged. You're supposed to be
Yeah.
sitting up like, what's he going to do next? What's he going to say next? You know?
Okay.
So I have to engage you to take it through the theatrical level. You know? So it's very interesting. I've never done one. I know that I have so many fans who are also artists who are going to come and see what it looks like. So I got to get it right.
I think you'll have an advantage though, because unlike most actors, you're used to being on stage by yourself.
That is true. I'm very comfortable being on myself. And plus, I have so much comedy that I always have a net that I can fall back on. So
Yeah.
if shit ain't working,
You can tell a joke.
yeah, you can tell over there, go tell a joke, then come back. But that's what my director trying to keep me away from.
Okay.
That my director don't want me trying to cheat and make it a stand-up comedy show, because then I've cheated the audience as well, because they're not paying to see stand-up comedy. I charge $20 for that. I'm charging $55 for this other thing, you know. So people are gonna come to see my story, you know, and so I'm excited about it.
And I can imagine that, you're pretty prepared for. I know you said that you're frightened, but I mean, you did kind of get your start, engaging strangers on the street, right?
That's true. That's true. I'm not afraid of the audience. I'm afraid of my personal failure. You know, I just don't. But I'm not so afraid that it paralyzes me. It's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do. I've never been too frightened to go forward. But fear is healthy. You know, you have to channel that into the artistic aspect of what you're doing. But it's a very healthy thing. In fact, I would be more worried if I wasn't frightened. If I just thought I could just sashay out there and do it, then I'd be really nervous, because I wouldn't care enough to give it my best, you know. And after all, it's about my mother and her relationship with me. And my mother's my greatest friend ever, the greatest hero in my life. And so I have to do her justice. You know, the most important thing in my life is making sure that my mother and God are proud of me. That's the most important thing to me, you know. And so I don't want to do something that she wouldn't smile about, you know. Yeah.
True. So you started out doing comedy on State Street in Chicago. Moved to LA in '85, which was like a crazy year in California,
Right.
For various reasons,
Right.
And how long did it take you to discover Venice Beach, and what made you stick there?
You know, it took me about a half a year because I was only in the city for, I did street performance in Chicago. And in Chicago, they didn't have any rules about it until we started doing it in '85.
We as in black people.
Yeah. And actually, the particular we are the breakdancing we.
Okay.
Because breakdancers did not observe the cordiality of respecting the merchants. So 3 or 4 black kids would show up with a damn cardboard box and lay it on the ground in front of a store and start spinning on their head. Next thing you know, 200 white folks standing around them in a circle. Well, the merchants weren't very happy because they weren't making no money. Well, nobody coming in the store to buy anything because it's a big crowd in front of their door. So they couldn't make money. Meanwhile, on top of them not making money, they looking out their window at these little black kids getting hats full of money. So they came down on us. So all of a sudden, it became a bunch of rules. You could only work certain streets on certain days or certain hours and all that shit. So I only did one season in Chicago, which was '85. Then when winter came, because didn't nobody want to hear no damn jokes on State Street in December. So when winter came, I packed everything that would fit into my car, 1967 Buick LeSabre, and I sold everything else, and I drove to California thinking it's hot year-round. So when I got to California, I would just try other streets. I'd stand in the street and try to perform, and the police kept stopping me. So finally I left L.A. and went to San Fran, where I was going in the first place.
Bay Area.
You could do Fisherman's Wharf and nobody mess with you. And I did that for 3 or 4 months, thinking that it's warm all the time in California.
It ain't warm in San Francisco.
It's cold as shit. They had seals in the water.
I know.
That's how cold it was. So I got stomach flu and passed out on the boardwalk.
Wow.
And by then, my girl had told me about this thing called Venice Beach and encouraged me to come back to L.A. and do Venice. So I came back and did Venice, and I've never looked back. It was heaven on earth for me, man. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, you know, when you say you did Venice, it's a lot of people that don't understand. You did Venice Beach,
I did
like
this.
better than anyone else has ever done Venice Beach.
It was kind of legendary. You know, I did 9 years, 86 to 95, and I did 5 1-hour shows every Saturday and Sunday. I do 40 minutes of performance and 20 minutes of getting my money. And I had it down to a system and a science, and a lot of things came from it. Not just the money from people coming up, but people gave me all kind of shows. I did all kind of TV shows and movies because people in the industry would come down and see me and say, "Oh man, we gotta get you on this show or that show." And then that it also got me Def Jam, and it also got me evenings at the Improv. It was one of the first truly amazing blessings that this entertainment game ever gave me.
How many people do you think consistently you had in a crowd out there on Venice?
It varied from a couple of hundred to, you know, maybe 200, maybe sometimes just 100 to 300-400, sometimes 700, you know. Over that 9-year period, 1 million people stood on their feet and watched me and stood in that sun for an hour and paid me.
And you actually did your HBO special in the same thing.
I did one about almost 20 years ago. It was a one mic stand, 30 minutes, but I'm going back out in July, and I'm doing a 1-hour one.
I was going to ask you, did it have? Because I've heard you say that you should have went for the hour when you did the half hour back in the day.
Wow, you pay attention.
Of course.
Yeah, I should have gone for the hour. It would have gave me more prestige and more money, more leverage, but I didn't know the game, you know. And see, a trick ain't a trick if you know the trick. Now, if you don't know the trick, then the trick's on you. So I didn't understand.
That's game for you.
Yeah, I didn't understand how to go about it. You know, it was about getting an hour. Hours prestige, hours more money, hours more visibility, exposure, get you into more doors. But they got me to do a little 30-minute one, you know.
So during this time, like, you didn't have a manager or a mentor or nothing that was like, nah, this is kind of how you navigate this situation. You was just doing
Brother, I had the best agents in the world. I had creative artists. I had CAA.
Oh, wow.
And they should have done that. They should have toured me through that correctly, but they did not. Instead, what they did is let me go for the dumb shit, for the 30 minutes. Oh, no, this is how they rationalize. They said, well, if you just do 30 minutes, you know, if it doesn't do that well, you know, you'll be okay. If you do an hour and it fails, it'll look so bad. But if you do 30 minutes and it's really good, and we can just then we can go back and give you the hour. So they made me feel
20
like,
years later.
Yeah, they made me feel like stupid was logic, and it wasn't, you know. So I fell for it, you know. And in my video, they still showing it today.
Yeah.
It was a classic, but I never got the hour. I never got what they promised me, what they led me to believe I was going to get, you know. So no, I had the representatives. You can't totally count on your representatives. You have to count on your own brain. You have to think about things like common sense, you know. If I was smarter, if I had a stronger team, I would have done more at BET. But when I was at BET and I went through some stuff, I wasn't even going through stuff. I was just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. And I end up being removed from a situation that was excellent for them and excellent for me because of politics with folks that I didn't even know how to play the game with. My brother told me a story about this village where, thank you, sir. Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
I don't know how to taste now.
That's okay. So, thank you, man. That was beautiful, beautiful. This brother went and got me a cup of tea, y'all. That is amazing, amazing. So, this every evening, well, as the sun went down, the prince would walk across the water. And nobody could believe it. And all the villagers would hide in the bushes and watch the prince walk across the water. And everybody was frightened to mention it or say anything to him. And one day a little girl steps from the bushes and she asked him, she said, "Pardon me, sir, please tell me, what is the secret of walking across the water?" And the prince said, "Well, the secret, my child, is you got to know where the rocks are."
Yeah.
See, when I was at BET, I didn't know where the rocks were. You know, so I lost my footing, you know, and it was really deep because I came in with the owner, who's my friend. So you would have thought I would have known where they were. They would have told me where they were. It would have been, well, I didn't get any of that. Instead, I got exiled and bad mouthed and all kind of old shit.
I've heard that you actually created what we know as Comic View.
I was one of the creators. I brought the ideal of Comic View to them, the ideal of how to do it. And then they went away and didn't talk to me again for months. Next thing I know, the show was up and D.L. Hughley was the host. I said, oh my God.
That's crazy.
And what was so funny is, after the show ran a while, they invited me to come on and host one. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, they invited me to come on and be a guest on one, not to host one. And I said, y'all want me to be a guest on some shit I created?
Right.
I don't think so. I could host it or I could do something else, but I couldn't do that. So, if you stand up for what is right, though, people consider you difficult,
Of course.
And I'm not difficult. I'm just reasonable, And if I figure out what's right, I'm not going to let you do the other thing to me, the thing is, I've never needed money enough to let anybody sway me because of that blessing that God gave me called Venice Beach. Because of Venice Beach, I know I can go anywhere and make money. I can walk outside and stand on the corner and stop people going by and tell jokes and pass my hat. I started on the street in Chicago. So as long as I live, as long as I'm rational, I'll always get money. Can't nobody stop me from getting money. So I don't have a boss. God is my boss, and he's my manager. He's my agent. I only pay him 10%. He answers every call. Truthfully, though, I have a new management team that's off the chain, the Burke Manage Agency, and a great team, and they're going to help me navigate the waters, because I'm doing a lot of projects. And the show I'm going to do on Venice is called The King of Venice Beach. So we're building a stage that looks like a king's crown that I'm standing in. It's some awesome shit. It's
In
really
July.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
You have any honey?
I do not.
Okay, no. Well, I'm going to make this work.
So,
my throat is very grateful. Thank you.
You talked about, kind of not knowing how to navigate certain things, and you've been very open about the battles you had with addiction.
Yeah.
Do you think that any of, you not being fully reliable and things of that nature when you were battling with your addiction, do you think that had anything to do with you not getting some of those movies and not getting some of those roles?
I don't know about it. Reliable might be a good word. Maybe not. Because, when you...
Or focus, maybe.
What focus is... when you high all night, sometimes it's hard to make it to work the next morning. I think, I was a functional addict, for 23 years. I have 5 years of pure sobriety now. But I was a functioning
Congratulations
addict.
on that, though.
Thank you, brother. And I would get high, but then I would go to work. I never stole from my family. I never kept the bill money and shit like that. I'd have my own. But it's funny. There's a place here called Bright Something. There's a clothing store down here. You know what it's called? Bright Something?
Bright, no, not familiar.
It's really nice.
We don't dress as nice as you do, so it's certain shit we just not gonna know. They
tricked me into buying 2 suits yesterday. I didn't even want to buy one, but I put the first one on. It looked so good, but I didn't have the money for it. It ain't in my budget. And they like, well, just try the pants on. Don't cost nothing to wear the pants. Just try the pants on, So I put the suit on with the pants. Next thing I know, they chalking off the leg so that they can alter them. I ain't bought the shit. So I bought that suit, and I said, man, let me get out of here. They pulled out another suit that was 10 times colder than that. I was like, I didn't have no money for the first. Okay, let me try that jacket. So now I got both suits. Now they like, what? I got this belt. I'm like, oh shit. So it was like, but it don't cost nothing to try it on. Just try it on. So they remind me of my crack days, because I have a certain amount of money that I want to spend on dope, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm through, I'm through. You know. Then the motherfucker say, well, you know what though, man? Go on, take this rock here. This on me. Just go on, take this rock. Next thing I know, nigga, it's Thursday. Because I done sat in that motherfucker 4 more days smoking because they one goddamn rock they gave me. That's how that clothier was the other day. He just kept bringing shit. Let me show you this tie. I'm like, oh my God. So, absolutely, I would be further in my career if I hadn't spent time getting high. When you're high, you effectively put your life on pause, and everybody else parades right past you. People who used to look up to me are now rich enough to pee cream, and I'm still a day player, because I took time out to do other shit, and I don't regret anything because I think everything brings us to where we are today. And I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I'm in love with the most awesome queen on this planet. She is beyond magnificent. I looked for her before I even came on this planet, you know. And when my soul first saw her, when I first saw her, I was like, wow, my soul has been looking for you forever. Where the hell have you been? You know, I mean, and so she is everything for me. Kelly is the most amazing, awesome person. And then I have a wonderful super God. God is so great and just blesses me and blesses me and blesses me. Every day I get a miracle. You know, if I have a day where I don't have a miracle, I'm shocked. I'm shocked and surprised. I get one every single solitary day, you know. So I know that I have great stories that I can tell because of the life I led.
Yeah,
all
that's
those
true.
are blessings that came out of the darkness, you know. So I don't think that we should ever curse anything that ever happened to us because everything brings us to this moment, you know. And so no, I was good with it. And plus, I wasn't no miserable addict either. I had fun like a motherfucker. Oh man, I had a good damn time. I was rolling, dude. But I found myself in dirty motel rooms with women I generally wouldn't talk to on the street, but it was fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, you know, going through that kind of stuff. I mean, there has to be like fuel for, you know, what you do anyway. Because I mean, nobody really wants to listen to somebody that has life all the way figured out, unless they like, you know, Les Brown or somebody like motivating you. But it's like when you were listening to somebody tell a story, you don't want to hear them. Guess what, man? I won at this. I won that. I've never lost a day in my life.
Yeah, people like it when you're human too. Because the truth is, we're all human, man. We all have our frailties and our flaws, and we're all flawed individuals, man. Everybody got some shit that they could do better, or some regret that they don't want to talk about, or some story that they'll never tell anybody. You know, we all get that if you've lived.
Yeah,
if you don't have no shit like that, I'm sorry for you. Your life ain't shit. You ain't never had a life. Boring as hell. Take a nap, fucker. You know, so I'm sorry.
So, yo, I want to talk about, you know, some people that you've worked with over the years. Tell me about your meeting and your friendship with the late, great Dan Enright.
Wow, he goes deep.
Brandon, you're going to have to tell folks who Dan Enright is.
Impressed.
He's going to tell folks
people
who
that
Dan
don't know.
Enright
I
is.
am just impressed with the homework you've done.
Thank
This is amazing stuff.
Hey, this dude just got published in Playboy magazine, man. This dude like knows his stuff.
Yeah, on the LA Jazz scene.
Wow, and that's because you take the time to do the homework.
Oh, most definitely.
That's important, people. That's an important lesson for anyone who's listening. It's all about the details. It's all about the homework, you know. Dan Enright was an amazing, amazing, amazing man. He created 54 television shows, including Tic-Tac-Toe, Joker's Wild, and a show called 21. He had a partner named Jack Barry, who was the host of 21. And Jack Barry and Dan Enright created a company called Barry Enright Productions. Did a lot of television, a lot of films, and he was my godfather. He became my godfather when I got to Venice Beach. He was the first person who had faith in me. You know, he was 65 years old, you know, old white guy, riding by on his bike and saw me with my crowd and stopped to watch. And when it was over, he came and said, "Young man, you're really excellent. One day I'm going to put you on television." And I was like, yeah, right. I heard a bunch of that shit. My brother told me that the other day.
Right.
And then later came back and wanted to borrow $20. So I didn't count on it. But he tracked me down 4 months later. Went to my girlfriend, who was by then my ex-girlfriend, and got my mama's number and found me and put me on my first television show, which was a national show on CBS called Who's Hot and Who's Not. And it was just about a black guy who makes a living standing on Venice Beach telling jokes. And he and I became great friends, and I adopted him as my godfather. He helped me raise my son. I was a single dad. When I got married at his condo. When I needed to join Screen Actors Guild and I didn't have the money, it was my second film. You know, my first film was Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend. Yep. So my second film, Johnny Be Good, with Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Downey Jr., and Uma Thurman, when Uma Thurman was 17 and spoke 7 languages. And my then manager would not loan me the money so I could join the Screen Actors Guild.
Did you fire him?
immediately.
All right.
Which because she was stupid. Because I would have made a lot of money on this film, which she would have got a percentage of.
Exactly.
Plus, she would have got her loan back. Plus, it would have positioned me further in my career. She said, "No, I don't loan clients money." And I went to Dan Enright. He said, "Come on over and get this check." And then I fired her immediately. So she didn't get any money from that movie.
As you should
either,
have.
you know. But Dan would do those type of things. And Dan just loved me. And he didn't want anything. He just loved me. And I called him my godfather. And he said, "But I don't want to be your father. I just want to be your friend." And I was always blown away by his character and his excellence of life. He taught me how to treat women. You know, he was still married at the time, but he had a girlfriend. His wife has Alzheimer's disease, so he didn't have much of a life with her. So he put her up in his palatial mansion. He took care of all her bills. He gave her $10,000 spending money each month, and he would send long stem roses every week to her. And then on the other side of town, he lived his life. You know, it's not like he was playing like he was with her and sneaking around. He went on and lived his life, but he didn't forget this woman who meant something to him for years. And he made sure he took care of her for the rest of her life. Dan Enright was an awesome, awesome man. But he's also the one who fixed the game shows in the 50s. So
With the movie Quiz Show.
Quiz Show is based on how they fixed the games in the 50s, you know, because people couldn't really answer them questions, so they'd give them the answers just to make it exciting for the audience. But that really was cheating. And Stemple, who, this white dude, they let him win all the way up to $55,000. And $55,000 in 1954, 55, a lot of dough. But now it was time to rotate and bring a new winner in. And he was like, "No, I didn't need your help. I could answer these on my own." And so they let him go. And so he went to the Senate. And they created a Senate committee and investigated it because he was jealous. And anyway, they threw my man out. They threw Dan Enright out the country for 12 years. Couldn't be in the industry. But there was no more beautiful person than him, man. He was just awesome. He's the one that introduced me to Sammy Davis. He was just awesome, man. And he's in my heart, and I think about him every single day. So that's amazing that you said his name. Yeah. Dan Enright was the shit.
You brought up your wedding, your first wedding.
Right.
And I heard you mention years ago, and this was so crazy to me that this shows you how like tight-knit black LA was then, that Dr. Dre and Eazy-E were at your first wedding.
Yeah, wow. Fuck, where's he getting this information? Yeah, Dr. Dre and Eazy-E was at my wedding. It was, Dan Enright threw me the best wedding ever, and he owned the entire top of this 16-story apartment building. Right, wow. The whole top floor was his house. So imagine this 10 apartment building. His house sat on the roof in the middle of that building. So our wedding was on the whole outside of his. Oh man, it was beautiful. And yeah, a lot of people came. The guy who owned and created the Improv, Bud Friedman, came. And he brought gifts. It wasn't some hollow, thing. He was kind and brought real gifts. So no, it was very excellent. Dan is important to me, and he still is important to me because, I left that woman. I was married to her for 28 years. I was married to her for 24 years and with her for 28 years. Mm-hmm. It was a good run. But when it's over, it's over. And we're friends again. Now, we're not friends, but we're cordial.
That's good.
We're cordial now. And I'm not out of the divorce yet. We've done all the paperwork. Everything's in the hands of the judge. So we're just waiting for the decree. And 10 minutes after that shit is final, I'm marrying my wife, my queen, Kelly. I've been waiting for.
And I didn't even know when we were emailing and talking, setting this up, because I follow you on your Instagram and all that. Mm-hmm. I didn't put two and two together. I was the same person. You can tell just speaking to her on the phone that she's a genuinely nice person.
She's a genuinely nice person. She really, really like. She won't eat anything that ever had a heart or a face.
Wow.
She won't eat it. She ain't having no dairy. She She be pissing these waiters off. Though. We be trying to eat, and she's so particular. Excuse me, waitress. Is there cream in the cream? Yeah, bitch, there's cream in the cream. You know. But she's so amazing. I mean, she won't let me kill nothing. If it's a spider in the house, I gotta put it in a cup and release
Take it outside.
You know, I mean, she's a very special, and she loves for real. And you know, when I left, I was leaving my ex to be with her. She prayed for my ex every day.
Wow.
And I mean, it wasn't no bullshit. Well, I'm going to pray for her. No. She meant it. Daily, she prayed for her to be healed and to be okay and to be well. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when it's time to go, it's time to go. And happiness is our birthright. If we don't get it, that's on us. If you don't get your happiness, that ain't on your wife. That ain't on your mama, your brother, your uncle, your job, the boss. That ain't on them. None of them. It's on you. If you don't get your happiness, that's your shit. Shame on you. You know. So I'm not responsible for other people's joy, and they're not responsible for mine. I am, and I had to go. I had to be where I was truly, truly happy. And with her, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I've never even been this close to happy, and I've been thrilled for years with life.
You lived a good life.
But I still live it every day. You know, I refuse to have it any other way, but never this level of joy. Never this level of light. You know, I have 3 spiritual leaders. One's name is Dr. Michael Beckwith, Reverend Michael Beckwith of Agape. And I don't know if you've ever seen a DVD called The Secret. Mm-hmm. This brother was the brother with the dreadlocks on that. His church is off the chain. Oprah came to our church 3 weeks ago. She's had him on our show 14 times. He's awesome. And then I have a bishop in Oakland named Bishop Keith Clark. And then I have a spiritual reader, advisor named Astarius Miraculi, who actually married me and my first wife.
That's a name for you.
Oh, he powerful. pull him up on Facebook, Astarius Miraculi. Very, very powerful.
You don't have to tell me how to spell that.
I went to all of them. I went to all 3 of them to let them know what my situation was. And they all said to me, Michael, we've never seen you so illuminated. We've never seen you so full of light, and we've been knowing you for years. So whatever you're doing, you're supposed to be doing it because this is what is correct for you. You know, I didn't need nobody to tell me. My heart had already told me, and I trust my heart because I trust God. And where does God reside if he does not reside in the center of your heart? So if you follow your heart, you're going to be okay every time. You know when something is wrong because you get your stomach gets queasy. You feel, it's internal if things aren't right. But when things are right, you have a euphoric feeling, you know. And I mean, the blessings that we have is crazy. And so, yeah, I don't know why I was mentioning the first wife when we got married, and Dan Enright and them got us, hooked us up. We were together, and then he got us married and stuff, and we were just great. And it was great till it wasn't. Like, I don't believe that you should have a bad talk. People that you've loved.
Right.
You know, when I see that, I always think that's cowardice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're the one that chose to be with a person.
Sucker shit.
Yeah. So now you're going to shit on them. I wouldn't ever do that, you know? But when it doesn't work anymore, really, you have an option to change it. You should have saw some of my celebrity friends. One of my celebrity friends who's been married 3 times says, well, this is unacceptable. And I'm like, unacceptable to who, motherfucker?
So you can get married 3 times, but I can't be happy with the...
One lady who feels that she's just wrapped up in the Lord wants to tell me about how it's wrong according to the Bible. Now, she's divorced, and she stayed with a man she wasn't happy with for 9 years. So she said to me, well, couldn't you make it work? And I'm like, well, shit. If I ain't made it work in 28 years, when the fuck you think I'm going to make it work? I'm 59, though I don't feel a day over 58. But I don't have any more years to wait to get to the level of joy that I feel that I deserve. Yeah. I need to get there right now, you know? And you know what's really cool about it? When you release someone that you're not really 100% with, then you also save them. You don't just 100%. Save yourself. You save them too, because it was going to never be right with us, ever. So that means she will never reach the highest peak of her joy and excellence because I wasn't going to get there with her.
Right.
And I would never reach mine. But by me releasing myself, I also released her to be the better her, the greater her.
It's a lot of people with somebody else's spouse, with at somebody else's job,
Yeah.
in somebody else's position because they ain't working on their passion and they're willing to settle.
Wow. Yeah, and I can't settle, and I can't settle. Certainly, I can't settle anymore. I remember when my first wife, how I couldn't imagine not living without her. And then I can distinctly remember the day I wanted to kill her in a motherfucking sleep.
I'm glad you didn't, because you probably wouldn't be here right
That's
now.
right. I'd be doing comedy from the prison ministry.
Exactly.
Y'all get me talking too much. Hold up. Okay, I can do about 10 more minutes.
All
Okay?
right. So we got to talk about the video, man, that you just did. Ain't that funkin' kind of hard on you with Kendrick, George Clinton, Cube? Like, how did that whole thing come about?
Well, that's probably the most interesting question. The interesting part is, how did it come about? I was in Chicago getting on a plane to L.A., and the director was in Chicago getting on the same plane. And he just came up to me. I saw him coming at me, too, because he's got this beautiful girlfriend.
No, you saw her.
And I, out the corner of my eye, I was walking out the corner of my eye, I saw this dreadlock brother with this beautiful sister. I gave him a glance, and I kept going. And then, fans was coming up to me, want to take pictures, and, I'm your favorite, and We was talking and shit, and I looked up, and all of a sudden, the dude was standing next to me, the dread dude and this woman, And he's like, well, Mr. Colyar, I'm doing a music video tomorrow. Would you like to be in it? And I was like, probably. I don't know who's in it.
Yeah.
He said, Kendrick Lamar. Well, I love Kendrick Lamar. I love his music, but I always want to meet him. So I was like, yeah, I like to do that. He said, and George Clinton. I said, what? He said, Ice Cube. I said, nigga, let's do it today. Let's shoot it today, so. And I thought I was going to have some little funky, corny little part, a little cameo type thing. And he said, well, you got any funky clothes at home, funkadelic type clothes? Hell yeah. I went home, pulled out about 9 pieces, laid them out, took pictures and sent them to him. He said, oh, that's perfect. He said, because you're going to be in a spaceship with Kendrick Lamar. He flying it. I was like, what? So we went and did it the next day in the hood. 120th and Crenshaw.
Oh, yeah.
In a little bitty studio. And when we shot it, some of it to me seemed like it would be corny. But when that director got in that editing bay, man, he created a masterpiece. That's an awesome, awesome video. For people who don't know what I'm talking about, it's called Ain't That Funkin', Kinda Hard on You. It's George Clinton, Ice Cube, Kendrick Lamar, and Michael motherfucking Colyar. So what you want to do is go on YouTube and put in George Clinton, Ain't That Funkin' Kinda Hard on You. Now, there seems to be several videos of it. But you'll see me, Kendrick Lamar, and George Clinton sitting at the console. That's the button to push. It's off the chain. It's a great thing. And yeah, it was an honor to do.
That's amazing. Earlier this week, Prince passed, and I know living in L.A. and just moving in the circles you moved in, you had to have encountered the brother at some point.
Never.
Really?
Never met him, never been to a concert of his, been a major fan of his my entire life.
What was your reaction when he passed? Like, I was in shock. I actually went to the show. The last show.
You
I was
the show.
at the last.
You still have your ticket stubs? Because that's going to be a collector's item. Well, that's a collector's item. You should laminate that and keep that, because that's important. Well, I was, of course, shocked. I was stunned to hear it. I heard it very, very early when it first happened. I got a real early call about it. Then I called my woman because I was already on a plane coming here. So I called my woman to tell her. She just burst into tears. She dropped the phone. She was devastated. I wrote a poem about it immediately before I even let the plane take off. Let me read, see if I got my poem on here. I know I ain't supposed to be doing all these words and shit. Let me see. So I wrote a poem about it, and I posted it right away because he's really great. Then I bought a purple suit, y'all. Yesterday I bought a purple suit. So I'll be wearing it for all 3 shows tonight. I'll be wearing my purple suit, and that's in honor of
It's the purple
Prince.
ring that you got on right now
Yes,
in
sir.
honor to?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what
I'm wearing the
talking
purple ring.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's fly-ass ring, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. I don't want people thinking, oh, he done got some old corny-ass ring. Oh, no, this ring's the shit. We brought it back from Barbados, actually.
That's nice.
It's a shell. It's a seed. It's a seed from a palm tree. and they just polished it up. Called $4. It's fabulous. Okay, so here's my poem, y'all, about Prince. Let's see how this thing's gonna work out. I love Prince. Still love Prince. And he ain't gone, believe me. It's so much new music of his y'all gonna hear over the next 20 years. I really hope the people had lied when they said that Prince had died. This just don't make no damn sense, because we all need some more new Prince. All I can say is raise a cup, because heaven just came up. No artist has ever been quite so fly or brilliant as this purple guy. You could stare or you could peek, but no one was quite as unique. Every performance, every move took you to a higher groove. Purple boots and purple hat, nobody knew how to be down like that. No artist even got close to it yet, to his groove in Lil Red Corvette. Could he give you sex? I think maybe. Have you experienced Do Me, Baby? Didn't you want to slide in the covers when you heard International Lover? And even if you didn't have a phone, didn't 777-9311 put you in the zone? Tell the truth about Purple Rain. Didn't you go just a little insane? Lie to your sister or your brother. But we all know we want to be a sexy motherfucker. And weren't you really on a roll when you experienced pussy control? And who was cool enough to write like that? Only one fly, hip, purple, beautiful, mellow, smooth, wild, amazing cat. Prince. The best that ever did it. Rest in peace. Yes, sir.
I love it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And on that note, we're gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate you soldiering through with the voice and everything. Before you go, can you tell people where they can find you on social media and
Thank
whatnot?
you, brother. I appreciate that. I appreciate being here. I appreciate the tea. And I appreciate you studying and preparing for this so you can ask really great questions. Thank you. Thank you very much. This was an awesome interview. You guys could go to my webpage, which is The Real Michael Colyar. Colyar is spelled Colyar. So therealmichaelcolyar.com, or you can email me. I love letters. You can write me to comicking123@aol.com, because I don't know how they had a show called The Kings of Comedy without the king. comicking123@aol.com. You can follow me on Twitter @Michael Colyar. You can Instagram me at Michael_Colyar. It's still Colyar. Please check out my new book on the president. It's called Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the White House. I knocked on the door and a brother answered. You get more information from that at my webpage, or you can just go to my store, shopmichaelcolyar.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
sir.
you,
We
gentlemen.
appreciate
You are amazing. God bless.
Thank you.
Yo, what's happening? This is DJ Wally Sparks, representing Chattown, Tennessee 423. What's happening? You tune in to Day One Radio on ABLradio.com. Peace.
We certainly hope you enjoyed that interview with Mr. Michael Colyar. Make sure you check out his HBO special when it comes out, and his book, and his social media. And whenever he comes to your town, make sure you hit up a comedy theater to go and see that brother do his thing. We also want to thank everybody who came out to the Women's Crush Wednesday Hip Hop Trivia ATL last night at Slice. Had a very great time from what I heard. Since I'm out of town, I wasn't there, but I'll be there next week. We do that every single Wednesday at Slice, 75 Piedmont Boulevard. And make sure you also check out everything we're doing at ablradio.com. The new app is up for Android, and also day1radio.com. And you can check us on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, and all of that. Make sure you rate, review, and tell a friend to tell a friend so we can grow this thing. So until next week, make sure you check out the archives. Make sure you holler at us on social media, Day One Radio, on everything, and we'll get at you. Peace.